A breach of trust. A good example of the fraud triangle in practice is the highly publicized case of the secretary that stole over £4.3 million from her bosses at Goldman Sachs. Motivation in the scenario: there were some suggestions that De-Laurey originally started down her fraudulent path because of financial difficulties she found herself in before starting work at the investment bank. De-Laurey had previously run her own sandwich bar business, but it was closed down due to insufficient finances. According to her defense, De-Laurey's bitter experience of financial turmoil coincided with a novel introduction to a Dallas-type world where huge, unthinkable amounts of money stared her in the face, day in and day out. The motive behind the fraud was primarily greed though, with De-Laurey spending her ill-gotten gains on a luxury lifestyle, including villas, cars, jewellery, designer clothes and first-class holidays. De-Laurey has even admitted that she did not steal because she needed to, but because she could. She explained that she started taking money simply to find out if she could get away with it. She says that it then became a bit addictive and that she got a huge buzz from knowing they had no idea what I was doing. Opportunity. In terms of opportunity, De-Laurey's bosses trusted her and held her in high regard. She had proved herself indispensable, on both business and personal fronts, and was given access to their checkbooks in order to settle their domestic bills and personal finances. A little over a year after starting at Goldman Sachs, De-Laurey began forging her boss's signatures on personal checks to make payments into her own accounts. Realizing she had got away with it, De-Laurey continued to steal money by issuing forged checks and making false money transfers. Before long she was forging signatures on a string of cash transfer authorities, siphoning off up to £2.5 million at a time from supposedly secure New York investments. Rationalization. De-Laurey was able to rationalize her actions by convincing herself that she had earned the money she stole. De-Laurey believed that she deserved the plundered amounts as a just reward for her dedication, discretion and loyalty, and claims that she had the consent of her bosses to take money in return for her indispensable services. The fact that they were so rich they did not even notice the money was missing, only served to fuel De-Laurey's fraudulent activities. She justified her actions through the belief that her bosses had cash to spare. According to De-Laurey, they could afford to lose that money. Caught out after 4 years of siphoning off vast amounts of money, De-Laurey was eventually caught when her boss at the time decided to make a six-figure donation to his former college. He took a look at his bank accounts to see if he could cover the donation and was surprised to find the balance on the accounts so low. He investigated further and realized that large sums had been transferred to an unknown account. De-Laurey was the obvious suspect. By this time, De-Laurey had actually stolen around £3.3 million from this particular boss. De-Laurey was the first woman in the UK to be accused of embezzling such a large sum, and after a long and high-profile trial in 2004, she was sentenced to 7 years imprisonment. Various sources including The Guardian, The Times, The Independent and the BBC News. Thanks for watching. www.ifex.org.pk Info@ifex.org.pk